Okay guys, and today's my very first, we're talking about escapes from the mount. And this one is one of my favorites. It's my go-to escape. I love this. It's if someone mounts you, how can you stay safe for sport? How can you stay safe for self-defense or MMA? So this is really, really good. This is the first one that you should be going for because it's the one that keeps you safest. And just like when we talked about in our sweeps about controlling distance, this is what the mount escape we're gonna do today is all about. So study this one close. It's really important. It's got a couple little variations depending on how your partner reacts. And there's a couple little black belt tips in there that are really important. And these are like, if it's not working for you, it's very likely those are the two reasons, those two black belt tips I have for you. Okay, have fun. Okay, so for your first mount escape, check out what's gonna happen. Go for it. Bear hug, climb your way up, reach across the back, grab the arm bridge, and roll. So there's several reasons that we chose this as the first escape. I know you'll see other versions where you like trap an arm. Can you trap an arm? Good, and then you trap the foot, and then you bridge, and then you roll. Okay. That's a very, very common one. And it's a great idea to break down the mechanics, that idea of like isolating one side and then taking over to that side. What I don't like about this is self-defense. What are you worried about?
I'm worried about that hand.
Yeah, I'm not worried about this hand so much. It's the hand that you can't see, right? So if I'm choking Thomas, doing that trap and roll escape he just did is a really, really good counter to that move, and that's fine. That's one of the ones that we show. But we got to think self-defense first. So the punches are the biggest concern. So if Thomas sits up, it's not that I can't hit him, but it's much harder to hit him. And right away, he's gonna push off the floor, which brings my hands down. Wait, don't rush it, don't rush it. Good, so he's got that bear hug. Now here's a detail that a lot of people miss. I'm a lot bigger than Thomas. He's holding on to me tight, right? His head is in tight, which is awesome, but I can just sit up. And now part of that for sure is because I'm a big guy. But a big part is because his hips are on the floor. Now if he brings his hips off the he brings his hips off the floor. Do you feel the difference, Thomas?
Oh yeah.
It's almost like he's hanging off of me. And relax, that's great. His hips are about a quarter to a half inch off the floor. And really all you need is your butt off the floor enough that you can move your hips gently. So think about it like boxing and kickboxing. Your foot is never flat on the floor. You want your heel off the floor slightly. So your hips are like your heels. So when he sits up and he bridges right away, his hips are off the floor, which keeps that weight on my arm. And right now it's mostly on my left elbow. He's going to keep his head in tight, reach across my back as high as he can, and he's gonna grab onto my arm, pull it in, and then bridge and roll. Good, now let's come back. Now I did notice he's letting go partway through. How come?
Because
sometimes I roll on your fingers.
Yeah,
so you gotta be careful you don't get wrist locked and rolled in the fingers, but I'd like him to keep that grip a little bit better. We're gonna show a couple little variations of this now though. I have Thomas here, he sits up right away. He bear hugs right away, head's in tight, climbs his shoulders, hands on my shoulders please, and climbs up. So look where his head is. His head's by my shoulder now, which makes it harder for me. As soon as I take my hand off to try and hit, I fall down. Now he's gonna reach his arm across my back. Now here's an important part. Can you put your hips on the floor again, Thomas? Very easy for me to sit up, so that's my test. If I can sit up, then I know he's not doing it properly. If he can put his hips off the floor slightly, good, this is much better. He's gonna keep his head in, grab my arm and collapse it, and just put your hand behind my tricep. Behind my arm here. There you go, right there, there. And then he's gonna look where he's gonna go and bridge and roll. Good, rewind. About a couple variations from this position. Let's get that. Good, are your hips off the floor?
Yep.
Are they?
Yep.
There you go, there. So from here, maybe he tries to collapse my arm and I don't let him. And this is one of my favorite ones. Now he keeps his grip tight and walks his hips towards my hand. Yeah, and then bridge and roll. This is definitely one of my favorites because I have some pretty big guys in the club. So again, let's see that one. You sit up, you bear hug, you push, you climb up high, like a chin up, reach across my back, grab my arm, try to collapse it. I'm like, no, it's too strong. Run your hips to your hand. Good. And the other thing that might happen, let's get to that position at the end there. Good, it was good, hold it tight, is I might do that. Yes, there, he trapped it as I was going and bridge and rolled. Let's see that one more time. It's fast. It's fast. Oh, there you got me. Oh, over. How many times do you think I would swim my hand through?
Either like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, and then what would you try to do?
If it doesn't work by then I would try something different.
If you were on top?
If I was on the bottom,
No. If I'm on top, how many times do you think I would do it?
as much as you need
As
to.
many times as I need to. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So there's a couple things that we can do to help out with that. And it comes with this and his hips. So his hips are doing a great job, but is your arm getting a little bit tired?
A bit.
Okay, so Thomas likes to hang on things and he hangs on his hand, right? On rings and chin-up bars and monkey bars and stuff. But how strong are you holding on with your elbow?
Quite a bit strong.
It's not as comfortable to hang on to a ring or a bar, but his elbow is way stronger. So when you're reaching across the back, what I see is a lot of people are focused on trying to get a grip with their hand on the armpit, and it's not. He's gonna use his forearm close to his elbow joint to hang on me there. So let's see if we can help Thomas out here. He grabs my shoulder, bear hug first, which he did. Yes, shoulders, and now hang on, yeah, and hips off the floor slightly. There, how does that feel?
Good.
Yeah, so usually, that's great. When I'm doing this, I wiggle my fingers. If I start to grab with my fingers, then I'm gonna tense up my hand and my forearm, and I'm gonna start focusing on the wrong spot of my arm. If I wiggle my fingers slightly, then I know I'm working on hanging off the joint, my bone, which doesn't get tired, okay? The other thing that I like about this, go ahead, sit up, bear hug, good, climb, and hips off, is if I start to try and climb higher on Thomas, he just moves with me, okay? And you can even put this arm on top of my arm like we were before, where keep that grip, but hips on the floor. There, see how I can climb higher.
Yeah.
So that hip on the floor is a really, really, really big detail. If somebody keeps their hips on the floor, as the person on top, I'm gonna be able to advance much higher up, and that's gonna start isolating your arm for submissions. So what I like about this one a lot, it's super, super practical for self-defense. Can't let someone posture up so that they can punch you. Allows you to keep their weight forward, trap their arm, and then bridge and roll. For sport, man, it's fantastic. It really, when someone's low on top, if you're able to get that bear hug, climb up so hands are in the armpits, reach across the back, get to that kind of middle starting position there. It's very difficult for someone on top to do anything. There's no real good chokes, like in an Ezekiel, because your arm is blocking. There's no climbing up for an arm bar, because you've got your hips off the floor and you're hanging well on your arm. So it ends up being an awkward position where they, a lot of times I find guys just want to try and sit back up and let go, right? So it's a really, really good position to take advantage of. The escape works best when you can partner it with a hip escape, where you trap their leg inside your legs, trying to get towards your guard. But this is where you need to start. This is your first mount escape, and it's the one that you have to get very, very, very comfortable with. Once you start feeling that your partner on top of you is no longer trying to attack you, instead they're trying to like widen their base, or they're trying to leave the position, that means that your success is so good at that escape that they never want to be in mount again, which is awesome for you, okay? So remember, black belt tips for this one, hips off the floor, and then use your forearm on their back to hold on to them so that they don't posture up. Great job, guys.